Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to East Carolina University for this special edition of Pirate Parents Live. We're going to be speaking to the parents today about some things very specific to you as you get ready for this fall semester related to family orientation, but also related to the parent portal that you'll want to get connected with and learn a lot about East Carolina and how to be connected as a parent. I'm Chris Dansbury, Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, and I'll kind of step aside in a minute and let these two ladies to my right answer all the questions that you may have. And we've also got folks that are, if you're watching the live edition, you can put questions and comments in the chat. And we've got folks that are monitoring there. They'll throw them to us and we can ask your questions so we can make sure we get everything answered. Off the front, I want to mention to you, if you are watching the live edition, coming up 4 o'clock today, there's a special cupola conversation that East Carolina University is doing. It's called Driving Out Darkness, Influencing Change. You can go to any of the ECU social media accounts. On the homepage, you can find them: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all have links to how you can join and be a part of that very special cupola conversation coming up this afternoon. For today's topic, orientation is definitely right on everybody's radar. Students should be getting something in their email today that has what they need to know about orientation for student orientation. That will start on Monday, June 8th. Repeat that one more time. The student's ECU email account is where that information is going to go. So for moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, you're not going to be able to find it. You're going to need to make sure that your student is checking their email account, their ECU email account, to get that information. So some of it will come today, and then more will continue to come out, but a lot of it's going to be related to that. We've got Corey Schwaba, she's with the Office of Student Transitions. We've got Carter Fenwick, she is with the Office of Parent Family Programs, both here at ECU. I'm going to slide aside and I'm going to throw a couple of questions to them to get things started. Carter's going to walk through the portal here in a little bit so you get a hands-on look. But let's just start off as I slide out. Corey, for you, one of the things that a lot of people get confused is the difference between student orientation and family orientation. Now, typically in our old setting when we were face-to-face, which we're not going to be able to do, they would be together. In this case, they're separate. So the students are going to get their one thing. Let's talk about the family-parent side. What can they expect, and give us a little bit of the background on that.
So parents can expect to get their information this summer through our parent and family portal, which Carter's going to go through in just a bit. But that information will be set up and sent to you throughout the summer in the portal to get more information about what is going on and how to get your student ready to come to ECU in the fall. So all that information is going to be on the portal. It is free of charge. There is no charge for this. All you have to do is log in with an email, a Facebook account, or a LinkedIn account, and that'll give you the information that you need throughout the summer. Some of it will be student directive information, so things you want to tell your student, but some of it will be important information that we want you as parents to know that will get you set and ready to send your student here to ECU.
So Corey, one of the things for parents and families, they want to be engaged, they want to be interactive, they want to be a part of this, especially the orientation process, because I'm sending my son or daughter here and I got to let them go, and it may be for some first generation families is the first child they're sending off to college. How important is it for them from your office's perspective to be a part of this, but also to let that student learn to stand on their own?
It's hugely important. So that's why we have information going out to the students on Canvas. They will be enrolled in a Canvas course and they will get that information there. But that's why we separated the parents' information to the parent portal, because that is what is so important for parents to know and see. And we're going to give you tips throughout the summer about how to help your student get that separation and get that information that they need. But give you reminders to remind them of things to do and important things to do. The other thing we'll be doing this summer are a series of live chats and something with the orientation assistants called Q and R's. So orientation assistants are upperclassmen students who will be able to answer your questions, and we'll have student editions of those chats and parent editions for those chats. So students can go into the student edition and ask student-centered questions to the orientation assistants about what's going on, what's happening, what do I need to be successful here at ECU? And then parents will have an edition to go on and be able to ask parent-centered questions. What advice would you give parents, to help their student grow and learn why they're here at ECU? And the orientation assistants will help you out with that. We'll also be working with campus departments and offices to offer ECU chats throughout the summer. and they will give you information about athletics, about study abroad, about financial aid, student employment, Greek life. Pretty much everything you can imagine that we do here at ECU, we will be talking about on those chats.
And I think another thing, this is not ideal because it's not face-to-face, and we all know that ideal is not the world that we currently live in at these times. However, there may be a benefit to this incoming class because in some cases, if I go to that first orientation session on campus, it might be 6 or 8 weeks again before I get reconnected to the university. In this current model where we've gone hybrid, we've gone virtual, we've kind of been more, there's going to be continuous flow and way for folks to get involved.
Absolutely. We're going to be connecting with students through these chat sessions, through these Q&Rs, throughout the summer. They will run starting next week, and they will run straight through until August 7th. So just before you come to move into campus and start classes on August 10th, which will be awesome. So you'll be able to connect with our offices and departments, our students, our staff throughout the entire summer, which is really, really, really cool.
And I think another thing, some people might think, well, you're not on campus because people are teleworking and they're virtually working on a lot of different things. Our staff is here.
Yes.
We are here in full capacity getting ready for the start of the fall. One of those is obviously you, Carter, and your group with parent-family programs. And so for some, maybe for folks that don't know anything about that a portal exists, talk a little bit about why the portal was created and what its intention is.
So the portal is actually only a year old. We've had it. We brought it to campus last year, almost to the day. But it replaced our monthly newsletters that we sent out. But this is pretty much just an extra step of getting that information, getting those resources so that you can support your student, especially through this really exciting transition as they come here to ECU. Corey touched base on some of the features talking about events and information that will be on the portal for family orientation, but this will be your tool and your resource for the entirety of your student here at ECU. There are special communities that you can join based on your interests. If you want more information about athletics, you can join those communities. If you have multiple students, you can join the community of like, oh, I have a first-year student and I have a senior student. So this is super customizable, and it gives you all of the information and resources to support your student.
And I think the other part of that too is you're connected with other units and departments across campus. So if they pick a community and they pick one particular area, that front page is actually going to have articles that people submit that might be deadlines. It could be financial aid information, it could be scholarship information. So not only are the parents going to be able to kind of come and peruse and find topics of interest, but you've got folks that are feeding you the information that they want to get to the parents, which I think is phenomenal, especially for the services, things like the Pirate Academic Success Center for learning what tutoring opportunities are available. Talk about how you've reached out to some of the groups that have already started feeding you content.
We just reach out to them and partner with them. I mean, we say, hey, especially for orientation, we say, hey, orientation is coming up. What do you need our parents to know? What information? We have checklists, we have events, we have presentations, YouTube videos, checklists, Q&As, all of that information on the portal. We connect with every office on campus. Chris mentioned financial aid. We have a financial aid community. We partner with study abroad. We have an international family community. We partner with anything that you can think of, student success. If you're an alumni parent, if you live in state, out of state, if you're a Greek life parent, we have every single community, and we are partnering across campus continually to get up-to-date information to you.
And we'll do more of these Pirate Parents Lives throughout the year. I know that we'll have one closer to move-in coming up. We always do one closer to move-in, but this will be a special circumstance because the year's a little bit, a couple of weeks in advance getting started. So they'll be able to find that information on the portal and other ways to get connected and get involved. And there's no cost, right?
It is completely free. When we brought it to campus last year, it was imperative to say we want this to be free for our parents and our family members of our ECU students, and so that flows right into family orientation, completely free for you guys.
And so the other thing is, if you have topics, parents and families, that you want to know about, you reach out to Carter's office and you'd say, hey, I'd love to learn more about X, Y, or Z, and they can help reach out and get that content too. Carter mentioned free. Parent-family orientation, I know that's one of the questions that you get is the students, there's a fee, because they have a required portal that they have to do, parents are different.
Yes, parents are different. So this isn't required, it's just highly, highly, highly recommended. we want you to get the information that you need. So we want to make sure that it's accessible to you. So we partnered with Carter to make sure that Parent and Family Services could get the portal information out there, and of course that is free. So there's no guest fee like there normally is for orientation, and all you have to do is go to the Parent and Family website and sign up, or go to ecu.campusesp.com, and that will be up in the comments. I'm sure somebody will put that up in the comments for us as well. It's free to sign up. You just, like I said, need an email or a Facebook account, and you get all the information that you need for free.
And the students they've got to do, there's required modules that the students are going to have to complete before they can register for classes.
Yes.
Parents, it's a different pace.
Yes, parents can go at their own pace, and we're also going to kind of pace out information throughout the summer to try not to overwhelm you, because we know it's a lot of information. We know that you have lots of questions and lots of things you want to know, but getting it thrown at you like a tsunami is not good for anyone. So we're going to pace it out over the summer months, and give you the information that you need, but it'll always be here. As Carter said, it's going to be available after orientation as well. So once your student starts in the fall, as they continue through the spring and go toward graduation, this information is always going to be there and available to you whenever you need it. So even if you read something this summer and you're like, I remember that, you can go back and look for it, and it'll be there, always available to you.
I think whenever you go to buy a car, you look at the car, you're like, oh, the car's nice, but I really want to test drive it. So let's let Carter kind of show us a little bit of, rather than just say this is what the portal has. Carter, do you mind kind of walking us through what some of the features would be and some of the options? And I think, for folks that are first time, what do they need to do? And then once they go and they return and they log in, and kind of walk them through what they'll see and how they navigate.
So if you are a first-time parent and have no idea what this portal is, it is super simple. You do not need your students' information to log on. You need your email address, and you need to create a password. You're going to go on to ecu.campusesp.com, or you can go to parents.ecu.edu to find this link, and you go to sign up. I'm already signed up, obviously, so I have my information in there. But you go to sign up, and like I said, you put your email, you put your name, and you create a password. So we're going to log in with my email. And then this is the portal. We said family orientation is coming soon, so you can join the community, or it'll be on the home page, and you can just click and find it there. But like we said, we have a ton of information. We have posts that post. I am a part of a gazillion communities. So your communities where you're interested and what your interests are, they will pop up there. We mentioned Q&Rs and we mentioned events. That is on the home page, and that will be in each community based on the events per community.
So real quick, Carter, as you're looking down the left side there, and Corey, if you don't mind, slide down that left side a little bit under the communities. And you can, I see first year, second year, third year. So if I join this and I'm a first year student, my communities are not locked in, right? You're going to be able to interchange and move them. So as I go from a first year student, I'll learn about all the different pieces that go with first year. But then as they go through and matriculate, so can they as the parents, right?
Correct. And actually for the first year, second year, third year, fourth year communities, every single year, the communities kind of automatically switch. They will automatically roll over. For all the other communities, they stick, because if you're interested in one thing, one year you're probably going to be interested in the next year, or if your interests change, those you can change on your own. But for first year, second year, third year, those will automatically roll. So you don't have to worry about saying, oh my gosh, my student's going to be a rising sophomore. I need to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. And then also if you scroll down, we mentioned that posts stay up on the portal. So like during orientation, if you read something and it comes to September and you're like, oh, I read some really good information, I can't exactly remember where it was, and you're scrolling, you can just favorite posts. There's a little star, you can click on every post and you can favorite it. So that way if you really like something or something's really important to you, you save it, and it's easily to find back, or easy to go back and find it.
And the notifications thing I think is really neat. I mean, I'm getting ready to have a freshman come to ECU in the fall. So when I signed up, I was able to get notifications. So it's great. You can even set up the frequency that you want things to come, so you're not getting something and it's bombarding you.
Oh, yeah.
But I get it in a timely manner, and then I can look through. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So that's a nice feature.
Oh yeah, and I mentioned that this replaced our monthly newsletters. this portal will automatically generate newsletters for you based on your interests and based on how often you want newsletters. I personally get them twice a month. You can get them once a week, once a month. So you can say, like Chris mentioned, you don't want to be bombarded with information that you don't necessarily want all the time. So you can set how often you want those newsletters. Also, super important, and a feature that we've been using a lot lately is we've been sending out what we call announcements, especially when it's come to a lot of the changes that have been happening due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We can send specialized announcements, updates, alerts, a separate special email to every single user. So that's what we've been doing. If you're on the portal and you're a user and you've been getting email updates saying like, hey, we've moved classes online for the spring semester, or we've changed the way maybe fall 2020 looks like, we've been sending those emails to you on behalf of the university.
Do you want to keep walking through any of the calendar features? Those are things that may be specific to the office, but you also have other things.
So the calendar of events, the calendars that are showing up right now, or the events that are showing up right now, on the home page of the portal, it's all generic, so whatever events or whatever communities you're involved in, all of those events will show up. But if you're just focused on maybe orientation events, or just focused on maybe athletic events, you can click on that community and just see those calendar events. So far we've already started to put some of those orientation events up there, and that's what you're seeing there.
And a lot of times too, the announcements that the students are receiving, and you see there's a message from the chancellor, there's a message from Dr. Hardy, there's a message that from other things that are going on. That's a great way for the parents to really stay connected.
Oh yeah.
You know, because they don't always get to see every little thing, and this does keep them involved.
And students don't always share everything, which is exactly why we have this portal for you. Yep. And we also have some really new and exciting features that we're also going to talk about today. So I'm going to ask Corey to go over to the test account. So rolling out next week, in addition to family orientation being rolled out next week on the portal, there is this addition we've kind of added to it where you can connect with your student's pirate port. There's a way that you can connect with your student and also request FERPA protected information. Currently, your student has to go to the Buckley form on their pirate port and fill out who they grant access to for what. We recommend that your student still does that as we go through this transition, just to cover all of our bases. But now, starting next week, you will be able to log on and request information. So these are my 6 test fake students that I have. And if you want to scroll down to go to my connections. So next week, that little grad cap is going to pop up for you. You're going to click go to my connections. And if you click that little plus for me, so this is where you'll go to make that connection with your student, and then also to request that information. This is where you need their ECU email. You need their @students.ecu.edu email, because that's how we make that connection. So you're going to put that email there. You're going to put what type of relationship you have with your student. And then right below is where you will request what information you'd like to request. So with FERPA, grades are protected information for students, class schedules, financial aid information, cashier's office information. But this is where you can request and then also view that information. So you can either request kind of a la carte, you only want to know certain things, or you can, at the top, there was a place where you can request everything. So once you go in, there it is, yeah. So if and when you would like to request this information, you go through this process and then you click connect with your student. So once you click connect with your student, they will receive an email that kind of looks like the portal. Your students have a 2-part approval process. The first one is that they approve your connection. They say, yes, this is my mom, yes, this is my aunt, this is my uncle, my guardian. And then the second one is approving exactly what they say, yes, you can see. So now they can still say, yes, I want them to see financial information, but no, I don't want them to see grades. That's still their ability under FERPA. We can't do anything about that. But they can say, you can have that conversation with them and say, please share all of this information with me, and then that's where they can say yes. And so then the next time you log in, you'll have access to that information. And then whenever you click back onto that little grad cap, you will have the little tiles that pop up, and then you can view all of the updated information. It updates every 24 hours at 1 a.m. on weekends and on holidays. So no matter what time of year, no matter what time of day, you will be able to go on there and view updated information.
All right, so as we start to kind of wrap up here, as far as what's the overarching pieces that you want parents to take away related to the portal?
Join the portal. Definitely join the portal.
Step
It is
one.
free for you. It is how you connect not only to our office, but to every single office on campus. It will truly be your, I think, best resource and best tool through this summer if you're an incoming parent, but also through the following years of your student being here at ECU.
And then connection and engagement's another piece. So as Corey and I kind of come back in to wrap up,
Thank you.
for you, Corey, I think you want to mention a couple things. Reminder of what's June 8th
So-
for both sides.
So for both sides, June 8th opens orientation for everybody. So student registration for orientation begins Monday morning at 8 a.m. Students can log into Pirate Port and register and pay for orientation, and then they should have immediate access, we hope, to Canvas so they can start going through those orientation modules. There's 5 modules. Once they get through those, they'll get a message saying it's been completed, and then they can go and register for classes on June 9th. It'll take about 24 hours for the systems to talk to one another. For parents, your information again is free and will be available on the portal. So we'll start posting that information Monday morning as well.
So Monday, June 8th is a big day for both the students and for you as parents and families. So we want to make sure a couple things that I want to reinforce, and this is something we do with every Pirate Parents Live, is have communications with your student, have conversations with your student, especially this summer on a variety of things. If they're still relying on you to wake them up in the morning, have a conversation. They probably need to start transitioning their way out. Believe it or not, it still goes on. When we get closer to the semester starting, don't call them and wake them up at 8 o'clock in the morning and remind them they have to go to class. Part of this is getting them to stand on their own 2 feet. But the other thing are serious conversations related to things like FERPA and what you have access to and what you don't. I know a lot of parents and families, they're like, well, I paid the bill, I should be able to see everything. That's a conversation that you need to have with your student to make sure you're on the same page. Because a lot of times we get there and everybody's not on the same page. So definitely have those conversations. If you're not sure, reach out to Carter and say, look, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here. I'm not really sure. That's why we have parent-friendly programs offices. When you're not sure where to go, that's where we go. When I'm not sure who to, that's why I go to Carter. She handles everything with the parents and the families. And with the orientation, again, this summer, we're not face-to-face. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. And we're going to do the best we can to make it as seamless as possible. We appreciate your patience in advance. We're hoping everything June 8th works fine. It's technology, so we will see. But right now, everything is in place for those modules. It's only going to take them 90 minutes. It's not even 90 minutes per module. It's going to take the whole thing. It'll take them 90 minutes. They'll zip through that. They'll do what they need to get done. Don't have to get on there right at 8:01. Make it work for you. But the important piece is the students have to get that done so that they can then register for the classes and we can get them going forward. So, Carter, we thank you very much for all the information. Corey, you, Karen Smith, everybody are doing a great job with orientation. And fast forward this summer, and we're going to get there. I promise you, we're going to get there. We look forward to seeing you at Move-In in the fall, which will actually be the summer now. August 10th will be the start of the semester. So stay connected to ECU. Look on the homepage for OST, Parent Family Programs, and of course ECU.edu. We've got COVID information. We've got other information that's on there. But look for all those engagement opportunities, too, that Corey mentioned to learn about things going on campus. So until we get to see you on campus physically, stay safe.